powerful, that we have been endowed with 12 spiritual faculties or powers that were given to us to grow into our full potential as children of God. The same way that we received the attributes of our physical body, the color of our eyes, hair, etc., from the DNA of our parents, we have DNA, spiritual DNA, God's DNA, which we are here to develop. Now that DNA has spiritual centers in our physical body. Each one of the spiritual faculties has a correlating space. It's a place like where we plug into that power. And as we learn to access and work with our spiritual powers, we are actually going to be able to feel when they are stimulated in our life. So let's start to take a look at it. The spiritual centers are ways that we plug into our powers. We're going to begin at the top of the head, the crown of the head, which we call our Christ center. In Unity, we teach that our mind is our connecting link with God, that we connect with God through our thoughts, our prayers, and our meditations. It is how we receive our divine ideas. Now, the first thing we're going to do is be quickening those powers. If you're a woman and you've ever had a baby, you remember that when you were expecting that child, there was a moment that is called the quickening. The quickening is a fascinating moment because all of a sudden, that which was just an enlarging tummy goes, you just feel this slightest, and that is called the quickening. It is the fetus, the embryo, the baby expressing itself on its own for the first time. Likewise, with our spiritual faculties, we are going to be working at quickening them and making that connection, plugging into the spiritual power that is ours to use as children of God. Now, the first power I'd like to talk about is faith. And the spiritual center for the faculty of faith is located in the center of the head by the pineal gland. Now, sometimes if you connect with your faith, faith is that, in the Bible, in Hebrews, it said it is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It is that something within us that knows that there is more, that knows that our lives are not just about the things that we see around us. Charles Fillmore said it was the perceiving power of the mind linked with the ability to shape substance. We can do the things we can do because we have the faith that we can do them. Did you ever see a baby wondering whether or not it had the ability to walk? It watched people all around it walking. Looked down, got two legs, and started. And you'll also notice that the baby probably had a pretty difficult time learning to walk. That it stood up, fell down, stood up, fell down. How many times did we watch our children stand up and fall down before they actually started to walk? What about us? Jesus said, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, nothing is impossible to you. Do we have that faith? Do we quicken it? Yes, it is within us. We have the ability. Then if we move on to the next one of our superpowers or spiritual faculties, that would be will. The will is the executive power of the mind. The will is that part of us that says yes or no. I will or I won't. That makes us either willing or willful. Without our spiritual power will, with the will of all good, those decisions become so powerful. They are quickened by the quickening will within us. The next power we are going to look at is understanding. Now, just like the word indicates understanding, it is the knowing, the solidity of the ground below us that we are standing on. It's how much we comprehend something when we get it. Our understanding is located across the entire front of the brain. It affects the both quadrants, both the thinking and the feeling sides of the brain. And so when we know that we know that we know, we say, aha, that's right, I got it. That means our understanding has kicked in. Without understanding, we walk around, dazed and confused for all of our lives. But we don't have to, because we have within us the spiritual power, the faculty of understanding. And what an amazing and wonderful gift that is. And then if we look a little further, we see that we have a wonderful spiritual power called imagination. Golly, imagination is just so wonderful because we can do anything. We can create anything. Charles Fillmore said that the imagination is the imaging power of the mind, the ability to see the images and then to manifest them. So it's kind of exciting. Stephen King was asked one time, where do you get the ideas for all your stories? And he said, I can't tell you, because they just come. They're everywhere. What does that mean? We've engaged our imagination. Did you ever feel that you don't have an imagination? I'd like to propose a little experiment, if you will. Close your eyes, if you will, because it's easier to get those images sometimes when we block out the distractions of the world. And imagine that you are sitting at a table, and in front of you is the most wonderful bowl of soup. It is your very favorite kind of soup. Look at it. Oh, inhale that wonderful fragrance. Stir it around a little bit and look at the contents of the soup just waiting to be eaten. And lift up that spoon. Oh, blow on a little bit. It may be too hot. Lift that spoon to your lips. And as you're putting it in your mouth, glance down. Uh-oh, big fat fly in the soup. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Okay, open your eyes. Well, do you have an imagination, or do you have an imagination? What powerful gifts we have. And I am so excited to invite you to explore those gifts with me. Now, if you want to look deeper, we'll be looking at that more next year as we work with a different power each month of the year. But for right now, you can go online to www.websyte.com, and that's it's /unity. And you will come to a web page that has a link that says Unity Works. You click on that, and Charles Fillmore's books, and you will find the 12 Powers of Man absolutely free to read, to print out, and read at your leisure, to do whatever you want. So these great truths and powers are yours. Today I am trying to make you aware of them, and during this week I invite you to work with them. Work with your faculty of faith. Engage that faith. We all have the same faith. It all depends on where we put it. Do we put our faith in God's ability to heal us, or do we put that faith in dis-ease? Do we put our faith in prosperity or in lack? Do we put our faith in our own ability to do things and be things and have things, or whatever the world may have declared about us? Will, apply that will. Ask each day, dear God, not my will, but thy will be done, because God's will for us is good and only good. Remember that power of understanding. Seek to understand, to comprehend. Don't ask, why is this always happening to sending forth that are bringing you those results. And lastly, we want to use that powerful imagination. This week, color something, write a story, imagine your dreams, make a treasure map. The world is there for us. You are a powerful spiritual being, a superhero. And as we go into this next week, I want you to know what I know for you. That the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you, the power of God protects you, and the presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. Now, I look forward to seeing you next week when we are going to explore 4 more of our superpowers. Until then, may God bless you, and may you be the superhero that you are